I don't understand how the multiverse makes it more credible.
It's like the lottery. The lottery, your chances of winning the lottery are 100 million to 1. But we just happen to be living in a universe with just the right qualities for life, but there might be a zillion universes. Basically, they are admitting there's less chance of us coming into existence by chance than ever before.
If you had 1 minute with Neil deGrasse Tyson, how would you answer that question for him?
My dad has spent a lifetime researching history, science, and theology, uncovering mind-blowing connections between the universe and our place in it. But he's not a fan of cameras or technology, so I call him up, record our conversations, and let his wisdom speak for itself. Through these conversations, I'm on my own search for the truth, and I want to invite you along for the journey. If you're curious, open-minded, or just love a good cosmic mystery, stick around. My dad has a lot to say, and you're not going to want to miss this. Oh, and since my dad's not on camera, I've created an animated avatar to talk for him. But what you're hearing is 100% real.
Hello?
Hi, Dad. I wanted to ask you some questions about the universe.
It's a very big place.
Is it?
I think so.
Are we the only universe?
I think so. Scientists have measured that if the universe was just a little bit different, if it had a little stronger gravity, or it had a little more carbon or a little less carbon, there's just 1,000 different ways that it was just a tiny bit different, then the universe itself would not be possible. So they came up with what they call a multiverse. That there's other universes, and those other universes probably don't have any life in them, but we just happen to be living in a universe with just the right qualities for life. And what are the chances of that? A zillion to 1. But there might be a zillion universes. And that's where they came up with the multiverse.
What do you think the chances that there are other life forms within our universe?
What do I think the chances are that there's other life forms in the universe? I think there's no chance.
Why?
If something is a zillion to 1, it just means it doesn't happen. Take away Earth's moon, there's no life. The moon exerts just the right gravitational pull to cause the tilt of the Earth to create seasons. If the Earth was all the same season all the time, there'd be some parts of the Earth that were hot, some parts that were cold all the time, and they'd all be too hot or too cold. You have to have a tilt to have it just right. And why aren't tides necessary for life on Earth? Well, without tides, we would have stagnant water. The whole Earth would be a pool of stagnant water that would quickly go bad and cause not the support of life, but the destruction of life. Rather than have a bowl of water, cats naturally like to drink out of moving water because moving water is fresh. You have a bowl of water, it's going to go stagnant, it's going to turn to poison. Everything has to be just right for life to exist and thrive. That's why they came up with the multiverse. And they used to say it all happened by accident, it was more credible. But then the more they study and the more they see that these things, the chances of them all being just right to support life are just beyond belief.
I don't understand how the multiverse makes it more credible.
It's like the lottery. The lottery, your chances of winning the lottery are 100 million to 1 in the big game. Now, there's only one universe. If you only buy one ticket in the lottery, your chances of winning are not good. But if you buy 100 million tickets, then your chances of winning are pretty good. So that's why they have the multiverse. Multiverse says there's 10 zillion trillion universes. The chances of one of them having all of those properties at the same time, that makes it possible. It's like buying 100 million lottery tickets.
And there is no evidence that they've found another universe.
No, this is just all hypothetical. It's all wishful thinking. We might as well believe in God. These people say there's no evidence of God. There's no evidence of a multiverse. Basically, they are admitting there's less chance of us coming into existence by chance than ever before. Because the more they learn about the universe, and the more they see that there's just all these special qualities that make everything possible, the more they must admit it must have been designed.
It's funny that they say there's no evidence of God, but everything that they find is evidence of God.
Essentially, again, that's part of the concept of my book, is showing more design, specific design.
What does Neil deGrasse Tyson say about all this?
He's actually a proponent, I think, now of the multiverse for the reasons I just discussed, because it gives him more of a chance to be an atheist. He's an atheist, which I can understand,
Why do you understand that he's an atheist? It seems like if he understands the unlikely nature of the earth and the life on it and how big of a coincidence that is, that's evidence for God.
Well, the reason he says he's an atheist, and he has said this many times, that to believe in God, at least the God of the Bible, at least God as God is normally portrayed as being all powerful. Obviously, he's all powerful. He created the entire universe. What's that sound? Your phone dying?
No, I'm here.
I heard a sound. He says any God who is all powerful and also all loving couldn't possibly exist, because no all powerful and all loving God could have ever allowed so much pain and suffering and injustice in the world.
That's what Neil deGrasse Tyson says is his reason for being an atheist?
Yeah, that's why he's an atheist. He doesn't believe in any God that he's ever had explained to him. The definition of this God has been an all-loving and all-powerful God. And he was all-powerful, means he'd be powerful enough to stop all evil and suffering in the world. But then he looks at the world around him and sees so much evil, injustice, pain, suffering, and so many conditions in the world that kill us. Tornadoes and volcanoes and so on and so forth. Why would any God have created a world like that? And that's why he is a proponent of the multiverse. Now, I have never presented my findings to him. I hope that someday they reach him. But I doubt they'd make any difference, because there is no amount of evidence ever available for anything to convince someone of something that they are unwilling to believe. Most people who are non-believers are non-believers because with great knowledge comes great responsibility. And most people want to live their life as they choose, and if they are convinced that there is a God, that would either bring upon them great guilt or cause them to change their life. And it's easier just to say there's no God.
It seems like a lot of people are atheists, not because of a lack of evidence that this is such a miraculous planet that we live on, and the whole act of life is such a miracle that it ever happened. But it seems like a lot of people are atheists because of that hang up they have around why would a God who's any good allow evil in the world? And I know we discussed that on another phone call a couple days ago, but if you had 1 minute with Neil deGrasse Tyson, how would you answer that question for him?
Why does God allow evil? I could argue philosophically why God allows evil. I think we discussed those philosophical reasons before, and God allows everyone free will, but also builds character by having to live through difficult times, a lot of suffering. It builds character, builds empathy for others. Nothing bad ever happened to us. We need a hard time feeling for others who have to endure bad things. So there's many reasons that God allows bad things to happen. I think it's very shallow of deGrasse, Tyson, any atheist to not be able to see that maybe God has reasons to allow things, but also if he's allowing them only for a brief period of time, relatively brief, a day to God is as 1,000 years, the Bible says. And any period of time on earth, it's a brief period of time compared to eternity. So in the future, we can look back and say God did allow the human race to do things their own way, allowed everyone to do whatever they wanted, including hurting others. And how'd that work out? Didn't work out. So being able to establish that God's ways are best, I think for all eternity, it will prove to have been a good idea. No one in the future will ever be able to say, we could do it better.
Hey, if you're enjoying these conversations and want to go even deeper, my dad's book, Signs in the Sun, Moon, and Stars, is linked in the description. It's his life's work, full of the same ideas and research that we talk about here, and so much more. This book includes things that you won't find on YouTube, like maps to many of the Bible's most historic places, explanations behind the Bible's biggest mysteries, and even celestial clues that connect history, science, astronomy, and theology. This whole project means a lot to me. My dad is now in his 70s, and I'd love to see him enjoy some success from the work that he's poured his heart into. If you're searching for the truth, or just want to see how all of this fits together, please consider downloading my dad's book at the link below this video in the description.